Our beliefs are like a pair of glasses that we wear every day. They shape our reality, they influence our perceptions, and they limit our potential. But here's the thing, our beliefs are not fixed. They can be changed, and they can be upgraded. Think about it. What would your life be like if you believed in yourself and your abilities without a shadow of a doubt? Would you take more risks? Would you pursue your dreams with more passion and purpose? Would you overcome obstacles with more ease and confidence? I want to share a story with you. I was working with a client who was struggling to find a job. She had been looking for months, and she was starting to lose hope. She believed that she wasn't good enough, that she wasn't qualified enough, and that she would never find a job. But I asked her, what if you believed that you were worthy of a great job? What if you believed that you had the skills and the talent to succeed? And you know what? She started to see things differently. She started to believe in herself, and she started to take action. And within a few weeks, she landed a job that she loved. You see, our beliefs have the power to either empower us or disempower us, and it's up to us to choose which ones we want to hold on to. So, I want to ask you, what beliefs are holding you back? What beliefs are limiting your potential? Take a moment to think about it. Self-doubt is one of the biggest obstacles that we face. It's that voice in our head that tells us we're not good enough, that we're not worthy, that we're not capable. But here's the thing. Self-doubt is not the truth. It's just a belief, and it can be changed. I want to share a technique with you that has helped me and many of my clients overcome self-doubt. It's called the 5-4-3-2-1 exercise. Here's how it works. When you start to feel self-doubt, take a deep breath and then ask yourself 5 times, what am I grateful for? Then ask yourself 4 times, what am I proud of? Then ask yourself 3 times, what am I good at? Then ask yourself twice, what am I capable of? And finally, ask yourself once, what am I committed to? This exercise helps to shift your focus away from self-doubt and towards your strengths and abilities. It helps to build confidence and self-belief, and it helps to remind you that you are capable of achieving your goals. So, I want to leave you with a question. What would your life be like if you believed in yourself and your abilities without a shadow of a doubt? Take a moment to think about it. Because the truth is, you have the power to choose your beliefs. You have the power to choose how you see yourself and your abilities. And you have the power to unleash your inner champion. The fear of failure is one of the biggest obstacles that holds us back from achieving our goals and living our dreams. It's that voice in our head that tells us, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if I make a mistake? And it's a powerful voice, isn't it? It's a voice that can paralyze us, that can stop us from taking action, that can keep us stuck in our comfort zone. But here's the theory. Failure is not based in reality. It's based on our perceptions, our beliefs, and our past experiences. And it's up to us to change those perceptions, to challenge those beliefs, and to learn from those experiences. So, I want to ask you a question. What's the worst that could happen if you took a risk and failed? Would you lose your job? Would you lose your reputation? Would you lose your sense of self-worth? Take a moment to think about it. I've failed many times in my life. I've failed in business, I've failed in relationships, and I've failed in my personal goals. But here's the failures were not the opposite of success. They were stepping stones to success. They were opportunities for growth, for learning. I want to share a story with you. When I was first starting out as a speaker, I was terrified of failure. I was terrified of getting up in front of an audience and bombing. I was terrified of not being good enough. But I didn't let that fear hold me back. I took a risk. I stepped out of my comfort zone and I started speaking. And you know what? I failed. I bombed. I was terrible, but I didn't give up. I learned from that experience. I improved my skills and I kept going. And today, I'm one of the most successful speakers in the world. You see, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. It's a part of the journey to achieving our goals and living our dreams. And it's up to us to reframe failure as an opportunity for growth and learning. So I want to leave you with a question. What's the worst that could happen if you took a risk and failed? And then I want you to ask yourself, What's the best that could happen if I took a risk and succeeded? Take a moment to think about it. Really think about it. Because the truth is, you have the power to choose how you see failure. You have the power to choose how you respond to failure. And you have the power to unleash your inner champion. You know, self-awareness is the key to unlocking our inner champion. It's the ability to understand our strengths, our weaknesses, and our motivations. It's the ability to know what makes us tick, what makes us come alive, and what makes us feel like we're living our purpose. So I want to ask you a question. What are the things that make you come alive, that make you feel like you're living your purpose? Is it helping others? Is it creating something new? Is it pursuing a passion? Take a moment to think about it. You know, I've always been fascinated by the concept of living authentically. What does it mean to be true to oneself? And what does it mean to live a life that's aligned with our values, our passions, and our strengths? And I've come to realize that it's all about self-awareness. It's about understanding who we are, what we want, and what we're capable of. Think about it. How often do we hold ourselves back because we believe we're not there yet? I'm not ready. We say, I haven't done enough, learned enough, become enough. And in doing so, we trap ourselves in this endless cycle of self-doubt, always believing that success is something for tomorrow, for the future version of ourselves, not for the person we are today. But this kind of thinking blinds us. It clouds our vision, making it hard to see the truth. The truth that victory doesn't come from waiting until you feel like you deserve it. It comes from acting as though you've already won, even when the world hasn't caught up yet. You see, the problem with constantly chasing success, as if it's somewhere out there, is that it keeps you stuck. It keeps you from recognizing the strength, the potential, and the opportunities that are already within you and around you. And what's worse is that it keeps you small. It convinces you that your worth is tied to some future version of yourself rather than the person standing here right now. I want to share something with you. I want us in a moment in time. It's not that single event you've been waiting for. It's not the promotion, the degree, the applause from others. It's not even about ticking off the goals on your list. Winning is a mindset. It's the belief that no matter what the world says, no matter how many obstacles you face, you are already enough. You are already capable. You are already, in many ways, victorious. So let me ask you, if we understood that, if we truly embrace the idea that winning is a way of thinking and living, not just a result, how would we live differently? Imagine waking up each morning with that mindset. Imagine stepping into your day, not with hesitation or fear, but with the quiet confidence of someone who knows deep in their bones that they've already succeeded. How would that change the choices you make? Would you still hold back from speaking up in that meeting because you're afraid of being wrong? Would you still put off starting that new project because you're worried you might fail? Or would you instead take action from a place of assurance, knowing that whether or not things go perfectly, you're already on solid ground? Living as though you've already won doesn't mean pretending life is perfect. It doesn't mean ignoring your struggles or denying the challenges in front of you. It means acknowledging those things, but not letting them define you. It means showing up to each moment as the version of yourself who is capable of overcoming those challenges, rather than the version who is still waiting for permission to start. We often talk about self-doubt as though it's a fact of life, something we just have to accept. But I'll ask you this. What if self-doubt is less about who we are and more about how we've been taught to think? What if it's not something you have to live with forever, but something you can choose to let go of by shifting your mindset? When we live as though we're still fighting for a win, we make choices out of fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. But when we live as though we've already won, that fear begins to lose its grip. Think about the people who inspire you, the ones who seem to navigate life with a sense of purpose. They're not waiting for success to find them. They're moving through life with the confidence of someone who already believes they belong, who already sees themselves as successful, regardless of what the world says. They're not fearless, but they act in spite of their fears, because they know that the real victory is in showing up fully, not in achieving some flawless outcome. So what if we stop waiting for the world to tell us we've won and started living like it's already true? What would that look like for you? Maybe it's taking that step you've been putting off, making that phone call, starting that conversation, launching that idea. Maybe it's simply shifting the way you see yourself, recognizing that you have everything you need within you right now, not someday down the road. If we understood this, if we lived from this place of inner victory, what would change in our lives? I believe the answer is everything. Because when you start to see yourself as someone who has already succeeded, the way you move through the world changes. The decisions you make, the risks you're willing to take, the way you interact with others, it all begins to shift. What does it mean to win? It's such a simple question on the surface, but when we really start to pull it apart, it gets complicated, doesn't it? Who decides what winning looks like? Is it about being the wealthiest person in the room, most famous, the one with the highest title, or the most followers online? These are the images that the world so often shows us. The shiny pictures of success we're fed from the time we're young. You know, the one's idea that if you're not constantly achieving more, earning more, doing more, then somehow you've fallen short. And it's easy to buy into that, to get swept up in the idea that winning is all about stacking up accomplishments like trophies on a shelf. But here's the thing. If that's all it is, why are so many people who seem to have it all still unsatisfied? If wealth, fame, and power were all it took to win in life, then why do we see people at the top of their fields still searching for meaning, still chasing something that seems just out of reach? Your stories of the CEO who can't sleep at night, or the celebrity who's surrounded by people but feels utterly alone. We see it all the time. People who have everything the world says defines success, yet they're still looking for more. Why is that? It's because those things, while they might make life more comfortable, give us a sense of accomplishment, aren't the real markers of victory. Winning is not about what you have in your bank account, the size of your house, or the accolades you've collected. It's about something much deeper. Let me share a different perspective with you. Victory is a state of being. It's not something you can buy, earn, or get handed to you. It's not a moment in time where you cross the finish line and suddenly everything falls into place forever. No, real victory is a way of living. It's a condition of your heart and your mind, something that you carry with you every single day, whether the world sees it or not. Think about that for a moment. If winning isn't tied to what you achieve, but to how you live, how does that change the way you think about success? Suddenly, it's not about waiting for that big moment where everything clicks. It's about how you choose to show up in your life right here, right now. Let me give you an example. Have you ever met someone who doesn't have much in the way of material success, but still seems completely at peace with their life? Someone who, despite challenges or setbacks, carries themselves with quiet confidence, resilience, and maybe they're not famous, maybe they're not rich, but when you look at them, you can tell they found something deeper. That's victory. That's what winning looks like when it's not defined by the world's standards, but by something more lasting. I remember a man I once met, a small business owner. From the outside, his life might have seemed unremarkable. He wasn't someone the world would call rich or powerful, but let me tell you, he was one of the most content people I've ever known. He didn't measure his success by how much money he made or by the size of his business. He measured it by the relationships he built, by the trust he earned from his community, and by the peace he felt knowing he was doing something he loved, something that aligned with his values. He was happy. And here's the thing. No amount of external success could have given him that. It came from within. He wasn't chasing victory. He was living it every single day. On the other hand, I've known people with plenty of outward success who always seemed restless, never quite satisfied, even as they reached higher and higher. They were constantly striving, but no achievement ever felt like enough. It was as if they were stuck on a treadmill, always running, but never arriving. This is what I want us to reflect on today. Winning, real winning, is not about the applause or the accolades. It's not about hitting some magical milestone. It's about how you carry yourself through life. It's about how you handle the ups and the downs. It's about whether you can find peace, not when everything is perfect, but in the middle of life's messiness. So if victory is something you can experience every day, no matter what your circumstances are, The question becomes, how do we step into it? How do we start living as if we've already won? Well, for starters, it means letting go of the idea that we're still waiting for success to come. It means realizing that we don't need the world's approval or even some grand achievement to feel like we've made it. It means recognizing that the power to define victory lies with us, not with anyone else. It's about shifting our focus from what we don't have to what we already possess. The strength, the resilience, the relationships, the ability to grow and learn. And it's about taking small steps each day with the knowledge that no matter what happens, you're already on solid ground. One practical way to start living like this is to redefine what success looks like in your daily life. Instead of measuring your worth by whether you've hit some big milestone, measure it by how you handle today. Did you approach your work with integrity? Did you show kindness to someone who needed it? Did you stay true to your values even when it wasn't easy? That's winning. That's the kind of success that can't be taken away from you no matter what else is going on in your life. Another key to stepping into this mindset is to stop comparing yourself to others. Comparison is one of the quickest ways to rob yourself of the joy that comes from living in a state of victory. There will always be someone who seems to have more, do more, or achieve more. But remember, their victory is not your victory. Your path is your own, and the moment you stop looking over at someone else's lane is the moment you start to truly appreciate the value of your own. So as we sit here today, I want to challenge you to think differently about what it means to win. Winning isn't something that happens out there in some distant future when all the stars align. It's something you can claim right now by changing the way you think, by changing the way you live. You don't have to wait for some magical moment. Victory is already yours if you choose to step into it. So how will you live differently? Now that you know this, how will you start to show up in your own life, knowing that the power to define your success, your victory, is already in your hands? How many of us live with the belief that victory is always just around the corner? We think once I achieve that promotion, once I finish this degree, once I pay off this debt, then I'll have made it. Then I can relax. Then I can be happy. Then I'll be successful. We create this story in our minds that the future is where all the good things are, where the real wins lie, and we end up spending so much time living for tomorrow that we forget something incredibly important. What if you didn't wait for success, but lived as though it were already yours? Think about that. What would change in your life if you stopped putting victory off until some future date? If instead of believing that happiness, peace, and fulfillment were tied to a distant achievement, you embraced the idea that those things are available to you right now. Far too often, we look ahead, thinking that our victory is somewhere down the line, and in doing so, we miss what's right in front of us. We overlook the beauty, the opportunities, and the growth happening in this moment because we're too busy chasing what we believe we still need to gain. But what if, instead of constantly chasing, we started claiming? What if we stopped waiting for life to get better and instead chose to act as if the victory was already ours? There's a danger in always looking ahead. The more we focus on the future, the more disconnected we become from the present. We begin to treat today as merely a stepping stone to tomorrow, forgetting that today is our life. And the problem with this way of thinking is that it keeps pushing happiness and fulfillment further away, always tied to some future moment, always just out of reach. But the truth is, the present moment is all we really have. Right now is where life happens. Right now is where we make decisions, where we take action, where we build relationships, where we create meaning. And when we live with the belief that victory is already ours, it changes how we show up in the present. Instead of waiting for some future success to give us permission to feel accomplished or worthy, we start making choices today that reflect our belief in our own capability. Let's take a look at how this works. When you live as if you've already won, your actions change. You stop making decisions from a place of lack, fear, or insecurity, and you start making them from a place of confidence and abundance. You're not constantly second-guessing yourself or holding back because you think you're not ready. You act with the assurance that you already have what it takes, that the victory you seek is not something you need to chase. It's something you carry within you. But this shift in mindset isn't always easy, is it? So many of us have been conditioned to think that we have to wait. Wait until we've reached a certain milestone. Wait until we've earned the right to feel successful. But the truth is, the only thing standing between you and that sense of victory is your belief that it's still somewhere far off. The moment you decide to claim it, the moment you start living with the understanding that you are already capable, already enough, everything changes. So what's holding us back from stepping into this mindset? What keeps us from living as though we've already won, from embracing the present with all the confidence and joy that comes with it? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Or maybe it's the stories we've been told about what success is supposed to look like? I want to share a story with you. When I was younger, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I was trying to find my purpose, my passion, my calling. And I was struggling. I was feeling lost, feeling uncertain, and feeling stuck. But then I had an epiphany. I realized that I had been trying to fit into someone else's mold, someone else's expectations. I had been trying to be someone I wasn't. And that's when it hit me. I needed to be true to myself. I needed to be authentic. So I started exploring my passions, my strengths, and my values. I started asking myself questions like, what makes me come alive? What makes me feel like I'm living my purpose? And the answers started to emerge. I realized that I was passionate about helping others, about inspiring others, and about making a difference. And that's when my life started to change. That's when I started to feel like I was living my purpose. You see, self-awareness is not just about understanding our strengths and weaknesses. It's about understanding our motivations, our values, and our passions. It's about understanding what makes us tick, what makes us come alive, and what makes us feel like we're living our... And it's the key to unlocking our inner champion. So, I want to leave you with a question. What are the things that make you come alive, that make you feel like you're living your purpose? Take a moment to think about it. Really think about it. Because the truth is, you have the power to choose how you live. You have the power to choose what makes you come alive. And you have the power to unleash your inner champion. Now, I want to give you a practical exercise to help you tap into your self-awareness. Take out a piece of paper and write down 3 things that make you come alive. 3 things that make you feel like you're living your purpose. And then next to each one, write down why. Why does it make you come alive? Why does it make you feel like you're living your purpose? Take a moment to reflect on it. Really reflect on it, because the answers will surprise you. The answers will inspire you. And the answers will help you unlock your inner champion. You know, self-awareness is a journey, not a destination. It's a journey of discovery, a journey of growth, and a journey of transformation. And it's a journey that requires patience, but the rewards are worth it. The rewards are immeasurable. Because when we're self-aware, we're able to live a life that's authentic, a life that's aligned with our values, our passions, and our strengths. And that's when we're able to unleash our inner champion. You know, the power of choice is one of the most powerful forces in our lives. It's the ability to choose how we think, how we feel, and how we act. It's the ability to choose our attitude, our behavior, and our destiny. And it's a power that we often underestimate. So I want to ask you a question. What choices are you making today that are moving you closer to your goals and dreams? Are you choosing to take action to pursue your passions and to live your purpose? Or are you choosing to stay stuck, to stay comfortable, and to stay in your comfort zone? Take a moment to think about it. You know, I've always believed that our choices are like a series of doors that we open and close throughout our lives. And each door we open or close has the power to either empower or disempower us. It's like a fork in the road where we have to choose which path to take. And the path we choose will determine the outcome of our lives. I want to share a story with you. When I was younger, I was struggling to make ends meet. I was working multiple jobs and I was barely scraping by. But I had a dream of becoming a successful author and speaker, and I knew that I had to make some choices to make that dream a reality. So I started choosing to invest in myself. I started choosing to learn new skills, to read new books, and to attend new seminars. And I started choosing to take action to pursue my passions, and to live my purpose. And you know what? Those choices paid off. I started to see results, I started to feel empowered, and I started to live the life I wanted. And it's all because I took responsibility for my choices and actions. I took ownership of my life, and I started to make choices that align with my values, my passions, and my strengths. You see, taking responsibility for our choices and actions is one of the most powerful things we can do. It's the ability to say, I am the creator of my life. I am the one who chooses my destiny. And it's the ability to take ownership of our mistakes, our failures, and our successes. So I want to leave you with a question. What choices are you making today that are moving you closer to your goals and dreams? Take a moment to think about it. Really think about it. Because the truth is, you have the power to choose how you live your life. You have the power to choose what you think, what you feel, and what you do. And you have the power to unleash your inner champion. Now, I want to give you a practical exercise to help you tap into the power of choice. Take out a piece of paper and write down 3 choices you're making today that are moving you closer to your goals and dreams. And then next to each one, write down why. Why are you making that choice? What's driving you to make that choice? Take a moment to reflect on it. Really reflect on it, because the answers will surprise you. The answers will inspire you. And the answers will help you unlock the power of choice. You know, the power of choice is a muscle that needs to be exercised. It's a muscle that needs to be strengthened, developed, and honed. And it's a muscle that requires practice, patience, and persistence, but the rewards are worth it. The rewards are immeasurable, because when we exercise the power of choice, we're able to live a life that's authentic, a life that's aligned with our values, our passions, and our strengths. And that's when we're able to unleash our inner champion. You know, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've talked about the power of belief, the fear of failure, the importance of self-awareness, and the power of choice. And I want to summarize the key points for you. You have the power to choose your beliefs, and your beliefs have the power to shape your reality. You have the power to overcome the fear of failure and to see failure as an opportunity for growth and learning. You have the power to tap into your self-awareness and understand what makes you come alive. And you have the power to make choices that align with your values, your passions, and your strengths. So I want to ask you a question. What would your life be like if you unleashed your inner champion and lived up to your full potential? Would you be more confident, more passionate, and more purpose-driven? Would you be living a life that truly reflects your highest potential? Take a moment to think about it. You know, unleashing your inner champion is not just about achieving success or accomplishing your goals. It's about living a life that's authentic, a life that's aligned with your values, your passions, and your strengths. It's about being true to yourself and living a life that truly reflects your highest potential. So I want to leave you with a call to action. I want to encourage you to take the first step towards unleashing your inner champion. Take the first step towards living a life that truly reflects your highest potential. Take the first step towards being true to yourself. You know, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take courage. It's going to take perseverance, and it's going to take determination. But I promise you, it's going to be worth it. Because when you unleash your inner champion, you'll be living a life that's authentic, a life that's aligned with your values, your passions, and your strengths. And that's when you'll be truly unstoppable. So I want to conclude with a thought-provoking statement. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Those are the words of Nelson Mandela. And I want to leave you with that today. Because I know that you have the power to rise above any obstacle, to overcome any challenge, and to unleash your inner champion. You know, it's time to stop playing small. It's time to stop hiding. And it's time to stop waiting for someone else to give you permission. It's time to take ownership of your life. It's time to take responsibility for your choices. And it's time to unleash your inner champion. So I want to ask you one final question. What's holding you back from unleashing your inner champion? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Or is it something else? Whatever it is, I want you to know that you have the power to overcome it. You have the power to rise above it, and you have the power to unleash your inner champion. So go out there and make it happen. Go out there and unleash your inner champion. Go out there and live a life that truly reflects your highest potential. You got this. As we come to the end of our time together today, I want to recap the main points from our conversation. We've talked about the power of belief, the fear of failure, the importance of self-awareness, and the power of choice. We've explored how our beliefs shape our reality, how fear can hold us back, and how self-awareness can help us understand what makes us come alive. We've also discussed how our choices have the power to either empower or disempower us, and how taking responsibility for our choices and actions is key to unlocking our inner champion. But here's the thing. Knowing all of this is not enough. We must take action. We must make a commitment to ourselves to unleash our inner champion. We must be willing to take the first step, to take the leap of faith, and to trust that we have the power to create the life we want. So I want to leave you with a challenge today. I want to challenge you to take action. I want to challenge you to make a commitment to yourself to unleash your inner champion. I want to challenge you to start living a life that truly reflects your highest. It's not going to be easy. There will be obstacles, there will be challenges, and there will be setbacks, but I promise you it will be worth it. Because when you unleash your inner champion, you'll be living a life that's authentic, a life that's aligned with your values, your passions, and your strengths. And that's when you'll be truly unstoppable. So as you leave here today, I want to leave you with a final thought. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. Those are the words of C.S. Lewis. And I want to leave you with that today. Because I know that you have the power to create the life you want. I know that you have the power to unleash your inner champion. And I know that you have the power to live a life that truly reflects your highest potential. So go out there and make it happen. Go out there and unleash your inner champion. Go out there and live a life that truly reflects your highest potential. And remember, you are not alone. You are part of a community of people who are committed to living their best lives. You are part of a community of people who are committed to unleashing their inner champion. And you are part of a community of people who are committed to supporting and encouraging each other every step of the way. So don't be afraid to reach out for help. Don't be afraid to ask for support. And don't be afraid to celebrate your successes. Because when you unleash your inner champion, you'll be living a life that's truly extraordinary. And that's something to be celebrated.